the time of recording, this video is dropping smack dab in Wrestlemania season, which is the most wonderful time of the year. And like millions of Gentiles rewatching Die Hard and Jingle All the Way before Christmas, a wrestling fan usually takes this season to rewatch Manias of old, their favorite video packages, and also their favorite wrestling movies. But which one is the champion of champions? The Wrestler? An outstanding movie, but one of those performances that screams, give me an Oscar or go to hell. Iron Claw? Troy Bolton does a good job, but they cut out Scrappy Doo from the movie, so for me the whole thing's a wash. The best wrestling movie of all time, to me, is one that wasn't out for acclaim or awards. Like pro wrestling itself, this movie was only out to entertain the hell out of you. My name is Steve Catron of Ginger Cat Films, and this is a movie you need to see. 2000s Ready to Rumble. First off, there is a distinct audience for this movie, and it's preteen boys born from 1983 to 94. And if you are not in that category, I'm not sure of your level of enjoyment. Directed by the same guy who immediately followed this movie with Keanu Reeves' Hardball with wildly different tones, this entire film is essentially a walking advertisement for WCW, akin to the Barbie movie or the Lego movie. And if you think a pro wrestling movie full of farting nuns, nitro girls, and wrestling conjoined twins would dominate at the box office, then you've apparently taken too many king's crowns to the head. This movie flopped hard at the box office, making only half of its $24 million budget back, losing its opening weekend to the likes of Aaron Brockovich and The Road to El Dorado. Which, yeah, that movie is amazing. That they call El Dorado, the magnificent and golden. We follow best friends and wrestling fanatics Gordy and Sean as they make their way across Wyoming to visit their hero and idol champion Jimmy King, played by GOAT character actor Oliver Platt, who got in as much physical shape for this role as he did to portray Oliver Babish in The West Wing. Sean is played by the son of late actor James Caan, and therefore I refuse to learn his first name on the grounds of nepotism, while Gordy is played by David Arquette at the height of that man's stardom. I mean it, he was in this, Scream, Muppets from Space, all classics. He was even a real-life WCW champion around this time, which any wrestling fan will tell you worked out wonderfully for all involved. You also have the redhead from American Pie, also at the height of that man's stardom, playing an internet-obsessed wrestling nerd. Ginger wrestling nerd addicted to screams. That seems pathetic. You have the aunt from Sabrina the Teenage Witch who plays the King's STD-riddled ex. Rose McGowan from Charm plays the girl that jump-started my puberty, and it also stars every wrestler that was working for WWF at the time of filming. Look, there's a baby John Cena! Due to Jimmy King being an arrogant, drunken showboat, evil promoter Titus Sinclair decides to pull a multi-man screw job to get the belt off of King and King out of the company. Sinclair is played by veteran character actor Joe Pantoliano, and it is this role that I blame for not being able to take him seriously in Memento, The Matrix, or The Sopranos. The bitter betrayal also proves so traumatic to Gordy and Sean that they end up crashing their ride in the most dumb way possible. But it is this moment that our heroes find themselves at a crossroads. Head back to their small town in Wyoming and continue their lives as potential law enforcement and wooing of service employees, or seek out and save their hero from the brink of his own destruction and bring him back to the title picture. While this movie is not meant to be taken seriously, there is one point of the movie's logic that needs to be discussed and what makes this movie extra enthralling when you think about it. Wrestling is predetermined. Sorry to spoil that bit of kayfabe, but the movie even points out that the wrestlers are there to put on a show. It's not an actual physical fight. That is why the screw job from Sinclair is legitimately heartbreaking. Diamond Dallas Page, who did film this movie during his brief run as a heel in WCW despite being an actual saint and babyface the rest of his real life and career, he fights the King for real. Him and Sinclair changed the ending of the match from a work to a shoot. The boys from the back doing that 4-post slam thing? That is real. When Gordy and Sean are taking King to train and be a real wrestler again, they take him to Sal Bandini, who is a legit wrestler and all-around badass. The montage in the barn? King even shows all the naysayers, no, this is real. All of this to say that according to the movie's own logic established at the beginning of the movie, the only predetermined portion of any match in this movie is right up until the King is betrayed. Everything else, especially the triple cage match, is an actual fight for the gold. Sinclair sends Sid Vicious and Perry Saturn to cripple a man, for real. Sinclair threatens Sting and his family's life if he doesn't cooperate. For real. The stakes are actually worth something, meaning the Royal Bash in Vegas is indirectly the single most important wrestling show of all time. On the surface, this movie may seem like a juvenile buddy slapstick set to the backdrop of failing WCW, but if you dig a little deeper, there's actual cinematic drama happening between the ropes. Sean and Gordy are two men children faced with the eternal struggle of retaining their childhood innocence with an art form they adore versus the crippling reality of societal pressures and familial responsibilities. Jimmy King is a chronic alcoholic whose complacency has forced him to reflect on his own abilities not only as a veteran performer, but as a human being and as a father and a son as well. Also, Mean Gene is there having some real self-confidence issues, which is something we can all relate to.
People think I'm sexy. I think you're sexy. Mean Gene, really, I do.
There are times when Ready to Rumble is just plain stupid. There are times when the humor is so lowbrow you wonder what the gaffer and boom ups were thinking as they stood there on set all day. But then every 15 minutes or so, there is a gem of brilliance which burns inside your memory to quote at your friends for years to come.
Pep talks, baby. I ought to kick your ass, freak.
I am blessed. Praise him in all his mercies.
Sal Mandini. Want to wrestle?
No goddamn way, baby.
And it's a shame that this movie isn't viewed with the same nostalgia glasses as other silly sports movies like Space Jam or Brian's Song. And who knows, maybe if you give Ready to Rumble a try, you might not be so worried to watch an episode of Raw or Dynamite sometime. That's what made me and my brother start watching, and look at me now. This is Steve Catron of Ginger Cat Films, and it's still real to me, damn it.